Meghan Markle here.
Today is November 6, 2025. It is 2:17 a.m. I'm a little bit late. Should have been recording now, like yesterday afternoon. I didn't do that. So now I'm starting fresh. I have a lot to share with you. So I might have two videos. One will be over here where I will be talking about Harry being in Canada. There's a lot of tweets. There might be part one, part two. And the other, I might have a little bit of politics, U.S. politics here near the end. And then the next video is going to be for As Ever, and it will be on PYTE. If you are new, I have two channels, well, three. One, I don't post that much. This one, APTS Sussex, and PYTE. That's where I'll be putting As Ever videos, okay, the tweets. So let's get started. We're gonna start with Harry being in Canada. Maybe it should be over here on PYTE because it's a bit more positive. We'll see when I'm editing. Okay, let's go on X. I have this on the list, but it's further down. It's gonna be on PYTE for As Ever. First tweet. Okay, so this you probably have seen it already. I posted on my community board. All right. Reminder that the Slimdown Monarchy was a concept built on Prince Harry's back. It was designed to keep him single, subjugated, and doing all the work while Charles and Willie and Kate Macbeth took all the credit. It's why everything started falling apart the minute Harry left. I have a video. I remember the thumbnails. I don't remember what I said in the video, but the thumbnail has three pictures of Harry, different pose. And then on the other side, I have a picture of where the Queen is in the middle. She's wearing, she's all red. I think, who was at the corner? On one side, it has, I think it was, who was there? Edward and Sophie, I think William and Kate. I probably have the order wrong. And then on the other side is, it was, I think, Charles and Camilla. And was it Charles and Camilla and Princess Anne. I don't know if I'm missing anybody. But the one thing, the title was The Power of One. Okay? So it took one Harry for all the others to do what needs to be done. This is what this reminds me of. Let me see something. So I could, the thing is messing up. Okay, so I had to search for it. Okay, The Power of One. There's three images of Harry on one side, and then there's the rest. The Queen in the middle, you have Sophie and Edward, William and Kate, Camilla and Charles, and then there's Princess Anne. Okay, Harry was doing the work for all of them. All of them. Okay, it took one Harry to take care of all of these, whatever these were doing. Okay, getting credit for everything. Okay, so this is what that remind me of. All right, so let's read some of the comments here. Yep, that's why Charles said he can't pay for Meghan, among other melanated reasons.
Driving us out into the fields, asked about Meg. Not with great interest, just casually. Still, he didn't always ask, so I was pleased. She's good, thanks. Does she want to carry on working? Say again. Does she want to keep on acting? Oh, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't think so. I expect she'll want to be with me, doing the job, you know, which would rule out Suits, since they film in Toronto. I see. Well, darling boy, You know there's not enough money to go around. I stared. What was he banging on about? He explained, or tried to. I can't pay for anyone else. I'm already having to pay for your brother and Catherine. I flinched. Something about his use of the name Catherine. I remembered the time he and Camilla wanted Kate to change the spelling of her name because there were already 2 royal ciphers with a C and a crown above. Charles and Camilla? It would be too confusing to have another. Make it Catherine with a K, they suggested. I wondered now what came of that suggestion. I turned to Willie, gave him a look that said, "You listening to this?" His face was blank. Pa didn't financially support Willie and me and our families out of any largesse. That was his job. That was the whole deal. We agreed to serve the monarch, go wherever we were sent, do whatever we were told, surrender our autonomy, keep our hands and feet inside the gilded cage at all times, and in exchange the keepers of the cage agreed to feed and clothe us. Was Pa, with all his millions from the hugely lucrative Duchy of Cornwall, trying to say that our captivity was starting to cost him a bit too much? Besides which, how much could it possibly cost to house and feed Meg? I wanted to say, she doesn't eat much, you know, and I'll ask her to make her own clothes, if you like. It was suddenly clear to me that this wasn't about money. Pa might have dreaded the rising cost of maintaining us, but what he really couldn't stomach was someone new dominating the monarchy, grabbing the limelight. Someone shiny and new coming in and overshadowing him, and Camilla. He'd lived through that before and had no interest in living through it again.
Harry was never supposed to get married. That wasn't part of their plan for him or the future of the monarchy. I mean, I just don't understand. These people feel like any other human beings that's not them. They have full control of the other people's body. I can't believe these people. They did everything to prevent him from getting married. I'm glad they fell. This is something I've always said. The reason why I think Harry's marriage was able to weather that storm of whatever happened in the UK, which is still happening, is the fact that before Harry introduced Meghan to his family, Harry got to know Meghan on a personal level, not third person or someone said, no. He got to know Meghan with his own 2 eyes, with his senses, with his all being. And Meghan got the same thing too. So they each understand each other on a fundamental level without the glam. Okay, with Meghan, it would have been the Hollywood type of things, even though the Derangers trying to downgrade her celebrity status. But she had her fan base. Okay, so without the glam for Meghan and Harry as well, and without the royalty type of thing, Meghan got to know Harry on the fundamental human being level. So by each of them understand each other, this is how they were able to weather the storm. Okay, they had their foundation really solid. They knew what they wanted. They knew how to move forward. So anything that comes in front of them is just noise. Okay, and they still at it in the same fundamental level because they have a foundation. They had a goal. They understood where they, what their goal was.
I know the fact that she'll be really unbelievably good at the job part of it as well is obviously a huge relief to me because she'll be able to deal with everything else that comes with it. But we're a fantastic team. We know we are, and we hope to over time try and have as much impact for all the things that we care about as much as possible.
I am very excited about that, yeah.
And Meghan, given your acting and the profile you had, you'd already been involved in various causes, you've been an ambassador for UN Women. What about this new role? I mean, you're going to have a bigger platform, a bigger voice. What do you want to do with it?
I mean, how...
Sing.
Can you imagine? No, I'm not a singer. I think what's been really exciting as we talk about the transition of this out of my career but into the role is that, as you said, the causes that have been very important to me I can focus even more energy on, because very early out of the gate I think you realize once you have access or a voice that people are willing to listen to, with that comes a lot of responsibility. which I take seriously. And at the same time, I think in these beginning few months and now being boots on the ground in the UK, I'm excited to just really get to know more about the different communities here, smaller organizations who are working on the same causes that I've always been passionate about under this umbrella. And also being able to go around to the Commonwealth. I think it's just the beginning of a...
There's a lot to do.
Really?
There's a lot to do.
And that foundation probably, I will not say the foundation is there, it's solid. But whatever they had planned, let's say once they decided to get married, okay, they had a goal, both of them. The royal family changed it, okay? So they reset themselves when they went back to Canada or the US, either these two places, okay? They reset and they said, okay, what we had installed, what we planning to do, it's not gonna work, so let's rebrand or let's change our goal. And this is what we are seeing here, and it benefiting the world, not just it's benefiting the world because they doing things to help other countries. And that would have been only if the royal family wasn't so barbaric. They would have had all of this to themselves. Harry and Meghan's work and abilities, their vision and all that. Well, I will not say their vision would have been slightly changed if it was in the UK, because the institution would have modified it, okay, to fit their barbaric kind of way. But what we are seeing here is the fruit of their labor, their vision, and it's helping everybody. All right, so we need to thank William for that. And what's the other guy? Simon Case for putting it in writing. All right, let's read some of the comments. I've said on this street several times, I don't think it was coincidence. Harry and Meghan had a private exchange of vows and acceptance of the sacrament of marriage with the Archbishop. It was an insurance policy against the firm medieval mentality. They made sure. That sort of fit into the thing that I was saying. But I think even before that, okay, when they were courting, when they were dating, okay, they were talking. Okay, I'm not there. This is my opinion, okay? I think it went further back than that. Because when they were courting, this is where they started talking about things, how they want to move forward. And then that private thing that they did for themselves was to remove all the noise, the glam, the royalty type of things. It was something fundamental for themselves to say, we're gonna seal our foundation here together without the nonsense that the father wanted, the firm wanted them to do, okay, for the people, the wedding that we all got to see. So whatever they did separately with the Archbishop, that was their way of sealing their foundation, okay, their goal, their plan, okay. That's the way that I see it. Hopefully I explained it correctly. Okay, that's a very good observation. I agree with you totally. Okay, so there's that. This is a really interesting video about the hypocrisy of the royal apologists. Okay, so that's a video YouTube. There's no reason for me to put it here. Okay, I'm getting an error code. Okay, so I cannot see that. Probably this video here, and the person cannot see it. This picture, thank goodness Harry took his family and left. Well, William pushed him out. It's so sad the way his family treated him his whole life. Yeah. Okay, so true. They wanted not just his organs, that is silent job of the spare, but his very soul crushed, sitting and servitude and used all his life. 100%. I don't think they will ever recover. Never. Yeah, they done. Though, nah, they done. Because people are seeing things for what it is. Whatever is here, let me read up. That's the squad. 2025, it's turning out to be quite a year. The more time passes, the clearer it is the heir was always the dud. They projected all that mediocrity on Harry to distract from heir's abject banality as a man. They then coddle him into believing their hype, and now reality is meeting their lies. He has nowhere to hide. Yeah, They put nonsense in his head. And the thing is that they were relying fully on the tabloid. And this is what the tabloid made them believe. The tabloid made them believe without them writing headlines for them, they are nothing. Maybe it did work at some point, but I guess the Sussex squad crashed that for them because there were no pushback. Okay, they write their lies. It doesn't matter if it's believable. Well, a lie is a lie. Whether it makes sense or not, they just put it out there and they're done with. But there were no pushback. So now that almost every headlines that they write, someone is questioning it. So this is why it's not working for them. 1001%, 100%. Remember in Spare, Harry said William told him that he has to live with the idea he might never find love and build a family. Yeah, that's the nonsense they put in his head. And William believed it. And meanwhile, Harry, on the other hand, was doing little things here and there on his own, going to Africa, interacting with the people, and creating foundation, organization, let's say like Center Bali and things like that. Who says that to their brother? Well, remember, in joint interviews, I've shared many of these videos with you, where Harry and William doing joint interview. I mean, William is always saying Harry's gonna be drinking, smoking, and doing those kind of things.
What?
Well, when I was younger, I wanted to be a policeman, but I haven't. I wouldn't want to be that now.
I was a popular cop on the block.
Exactly.
What would you want to do?
I think it's I don't know. It's a really tricky question. It goes through my head lots. I'd like to fly helicopters, definitely. I'd like to be some sort of heli pilot, working for the UN maybe or something like that. Go off and do some, I'd have to be doing something active outside and doing sort of fun stuff, but with an edge to helping people.
How about you, Harry?
He'd probably sit in and play computer games and drink beer.
Yeah, for a concert it'll be easy, and it's actually been a lot tougher than you imagine.
Yeah. We couldn't have done it with everybody else's help. Yeah. Everyone coming together, all the little cogs and pieces put together to turn out to get this, and it's just amazing.
I mean, to be fair, we know nothing about concerts. So,
you do now.
Everyone else has done all the hard work. We just came up with the idea. So.
Has there been any kind of diva demands or sort of pop stars you've had to deal with that have been quite tricky?
We couldn't possibly be so indiscreet.
The Spice Girls were quite keen to.
He's been the hardest. He's, some cigarettes somewhere and a beer. That's about it, really. But apart from that, it's been pretty easy.
He believed them. And then this is another question I always raise. How did Harry get all of those drugs that he was doing? And they were feeding. Okay. This is the way that I see it. They create this narrative for each members of the family. For Harry, he would have been what William be saying, drinking, smoking, and doing all this crazy stuff. And meanwhile, they will make William look good. So, and to some aspect, it was working because they were making Harry be exactly that. Whoever was feeding him those drugs, those kind of things, and then the headlines were being written and all of that, they frame Harry to be just that. And this is something I always ask. Who was giving Harry those drugs? Because I just don't see Harry going outside of the palace to go buy drugs wherever they have it in the UK. So someone had to bring the drug in for him. So who was that person? Okay? So while Men in Grey Suit was making Harry be what the tabloid was saying, and William believed it, so yeah, it wasn't good for Harry. It wasn't healthy. And I'm glad Harry, was like, he doesn't want his kids to be going through what he's gone through because he lived it. Okay, I'm so happy they left that musty institution. Me too. Okay. The wild thing is, Harry supposedly told the Queen in 2014 that he wanted to work, hence her giving him that tour of the Caribbean as her rep. But Harry was signaling that he was about to work for sometimes. More fool them for not seeing it and not doing anything to mend it. There's a video that I have of this royal rat who was interviewing Harry. She doesn't have it on video where Harry was has said that, but it was a discussion off camera that she remember, and she was saying it in that particular video that I have, where Harry had told her, I'm paraphrasing, and most likely I'll be putting the video, the reason he's staying is because of the Queen. Okay, so there's the video.
I'd never met him before, and so we had a little chat about the kind of things we talk about, and he was like, you can ask me whatever you want, but I might not answer it. I said to him, have you ever thought about moving away? And he was like, yeah, I'd love to move away, but I can't because of what I need to do to support the Queen. And that has just stuck with me forever, in terms of, he didn't say it on camera, he just said it in a really candid chat with me. And so whenever anyone says to me, it was Meghan's fault that they left, that conversation always springs to mind, because he always had it in him, this potential to jump. And I think Meghan came along and said, hold my hand and we'll jump together. Princess Charlotte's just been born. Would you like to have kids? And he came out with this brilliant line.
Comes times when you think, right, now's the time to settle down, or now's not, whatever the way it is. But I don't think you can force these things. It'll happen when it's going to happen. Of course, I'd love to have kids right now, but yeah, there's a process that one has to go through.
To which his communications team kind of took a bit of an intake of breath, like, oh my goodness, why did he say that? But then he also went on to say about how he just wanted to have someone alongside him to support him. And then what was it? A couple of years later, he met Meghan. Yeah. He was like, yeah, I'd love to move away, but I can't because of what I need to do to support the Queen.
Family back from all I have ever known. To take a step forward into what I hope can be a more peaceful life. I was born into this life, and it is a great honour to serve my country and the Queen. It has been our privilege to serve you, and we will continue to lead a life of service. So in that respect, nothing changes. I will always have the utmost respect for my grandmother, my Commander-in-Chief, and I am incredibly grateful to her and the rest of my family for the support they have shown Meghan and I over the last few months.
They thought he was trapped and still tried to trap him, be removing security. I'm glad they failed miserably. Because the squad, the army that Meghan bought, this is their one of their most miscalculated. You know what that remind me? I mean, it may sound crazy. It's what regarding the Trojan horse. Okay, they put the horse in front of them. Meanwhile, there's the soldiers inside the horse. So that Meghan is represent that. They miscalculated Meghan. They saw that humble, respectable woman coming in. You know, kindness is not weakness. Meghan came, okay, I'm using only her IG posts. I don't know if she was on other social media pages, but at least that I have, as one of the squad had took a screenshot of her IG post, and I have a copy of it. On her personal IG account, before she closed her IG account, her personal IG account, to marry Harry, she had 3 million plus followers, okay, on IG. This is the thing that the royal family did not see, or they miscalculated. Instead, they went to their Flintstone, rock, medieval kind of way of trying to put her down by flying idiots to the US to find people who somewhat, for some reason, had some sort of association with Meghan to lie about her because they can't find anything about her. Okay? Meanwhile, Meghan was already in with 3 million armies. These are the squad, the original squad. Sadly to say, I was not part of that. Okay? I was not part of that. So those people who were following Meghan went to the UK with her, and they were looking at things. They were the one who started the Sussex squad. Okay? And then the Sussex squad is growing. This is where I come in, like in 2020, 2019, 2020. Most likely 2020, not 2019. My mind was completely different places. I probably was one of those who was reading those headlines, okay, and starting to questioning it. But that was the royal family miscalculation, the Trojan horse. They saw Meghan, her kindness, her gentle, passive kind of thing, being humble, they took it as a weakness. Okay? Meanwhile, she had millions of followers who were doing the pushback. Alright, so that's the way I see it. Alright, let's go to the next one. Okay, for this part, looks like I'm gonna have more than one video. I'm still, 3 or 4 tweets. Okay, page 6. Prince Harry hates Meghan's Instagram video and pics, we swear. Okay, so there's me here. Okay, remember the baby mama video. I can't even show the video anyway. I'll have to put screenshot. Alright, so there's me here. People could correct me on this, like 8 hours ago when I saw this. Then Harry make reference in his book Spare about that exact moment of them dancing in the delivery room. Harry verbalized it, Meghan visualized it. So 3 people like it. Okay, I think somewhere in his book, Harry spoke about the video where they were dancing in the, he was describing it. They were dancing in the delivery room, having fun and all of that. And then there was a video of it to back it up. All right, let's see here. The thing about the Sussexes is they have strong communication skills, which was necessary due to a long distance courtship. In my opinion, if Meghan is going to post anything with Harry or their kids in it, Meghan makes sure he's okay with it. This is another wedge issue created by the British press to drive them apart. Since the rest of the royal family read papers religiously, they believe Harry does too. And they believe Harry believes everything he reads. So, well, I might have that video where Harry was saying that if they're saying something about him, he has to look into it and question it.
During his tour of Afghanistan, Harry's exasperation, even loathing of the press, has shone through loud and clear.
My father always says don't read it. Everyone says don't read it because it's always rubbish. I'm surprised how many people in the UK actually read it. I mean, everyone's guilty for buying the newspapers, I guess, but hopefully no one actually believes what they read, which I certainly don't. But yeah, of course I read it. If there's a story and something's being written about me, I want to know what's being said. But all it does is just upset me and anger me that people can get away with writing the stuff they do. Not just about me, about everything and everybody.
Okay? So Harry doesn't process what he reads the same way as the leftovers do. Because everything they keep on writing about him are lies. So he usually questioned them. Why do you think he had evidence when he called the papers to court? The derangers were making fun of him, saying, he doesn't have any proof, he doesn't have that. Meanwhile, he was collecting evidence through the years. What was the issue that happened? Oh, I went in it. I didn't want to go in it. There was something when he told, I think, Harry put someone in the palace name in one of his lawsuits. And Meghan Graysuit were upset that Harry put whoever. It's very scratchy in my head right now. You guys could correct me on that. I'm going on top of my head. Harry was suing one of those papers, and he put someone who worked in the palace in his lawsuit. Meghan Graysuit was upset once they found out that Harry put somebody's name in it, and they told him Meghan Graysuit wanted to see his evidence, and they wanted him to remove the person's name from his lawsuit. Harry said no. So they should have get from that. Harry doesn't play their stupid games. Harry is very smart. Once he realized Meghan Graysuit were against him, he keep his evidence to himself. Because they would have been doing the same thing that they did to Meghan with Meghan's copyright lawsuit, where they were stalling. The lawyers for the palace was stalling Meghan when Meghan realized they weren't gonna do anything about the letter that she wrote to her father was printed on paper because that was against her privacy. Okay, they were stalling her. So once she realized they weren't gonna do anything, that's when she decided to take her own lawyers. This is what financial independence get you. She was able to do that because she was financially secure. And this is why they were trying to put Harry into financial difficulties, so Harry won't be able to do some of the things that they are doing now. I don't know if I explained this, but let's see. Let me read it again. This is another wedge issue created by the British press to drive them apart. Since the rest of the royal family read papers religiously, they believe Harry does too. Yes, I believe Harry, maybe not now, but in the past, he did. He did say he read some of the papers so that he could see what they're saying about him, the lies that they're writing about him, so he could do something about it. And he used to call a lot of the papers or complaint to Ipso, okay, about the papers who were writing lies about him. And Ipso always turned a blind eye. They never did anything. They always gave benefit of the doubt to the papers. So all of this, if they at least try to give Harry a win, saying, yes, you're right, the paper should not write this, maybe some of the lawsuits that Harry have been taking place in the UK with the tabloid, maybe will never take place if they had given him a W here and there, W meaning a win. But when he realized Ipso was on the side of the papers, which pretty much, from my understanding, Ipso is run by retired former tabloid executive or whoever write the papers. Okay, so now he doesn't go to Ipso anymore. He goes straight to the court. And when Meghan went to court about her privacy thing, I guess through Harry's advice, probably said, don't even bother make a complaint because they're not gonna do anything. Just go straight to court. And that's exactly what's been happening. And the derangers keep on saying, oh, they keep on going to court, this and that. Because they had experience. They tried to do it civilly without going to the court. But the papers keep at. Look at this. You would have thought by now the papers would stop. They continue. It's like it never stopped. All right, let's see here. Let's continue. And they believe Harry believes everything he reads. So if Tom Sykes says Harry hates being on Meghan's social media, then Harry must be saying to himself, oh yeah, that's right, I hate being on Meghan's social media. Meanwhile, the truth is, I don't believe Harry and Meghan ever wanted to hide their kids away from the public until they're 50, but they also understand the threat against them, so they are trying to share their kids with the people who support them in a way that still protects their overall privacy while they are minors. I agree with this part, 100%. 100%. And I've said in the past, if Harry and Meghan were in the UK and the paper were not on their asses like they did, the way the papers were acting when Harry and Meghan were in the UK, as if, you know, reality TV, where cameras will be in their home as Harry and Meghan carry out their daily things, the camera will be on their faces. And then the paper will be complaining about whatever it is that they recorded. Meanwhile, this is what the papers wanted, okay? Allegedly. But Harry and Meghan are saying, no, let me live my life. I will share with you what I want to share with you. Or when I'm in public, you could do whatever you want, but in private, stay away from me. And if that was respected by every parties, including the royal family, the papers, you name it, I think occasionally Harry and Meghan would have been sharing pictures of their kids to the public. You saw from the beginning when Harry left the UK, and occasionally they will drop Christmas pictures of at that time was Archie only, okay? You see the nonsense that they wrote. And then Harry and Meghan still wanted to share the progress, especially Archie, to see how he's growing, wanted to share that with the world. And they put it into like a, how do they call it? Not photo, but a painting sort of way. But it seems like it was digitally made. Okay. the squad appreciate that little picture of Christmas card. We saw how tall Archie was, even though we didn't really see his face fully. We saw how tall he was, the dog, the little whatever house that was behind them. So the squad were happy, but still the tabloid went after it. So Harry and Meghan don't do that anymore. And those little clips here and there we see of Harry and Meghan on Meghan's IG is good enough. We don't need to see their faces. We see how tall he is, Archie that is, and Lily, we see that she loves pink, she's a mama's girl, and all that. So that's good enough for the squad. But the tabloid will always find something to say, negative to say. So I agree with that. All right, let's move on. Yeah, I talk too much. Okay, I'm already 28 minutes. Okay, maybe after this. Okay, I think now I am going to start a new video because now we're gonna be talking about Harry being in Canada. All right, let's finish this video with that. All right, they're freaking out because Prince Harry wrote that he currently lives in the US. All right, I wrote this about an hour ago. They are several years behind for that. I forgot what the issue was, but in an application he did in the UK, his home status was USA. It could have been when his father took Frogmore away from him, something happened and Harry had to write his home address. It was US. Someone can correct me on that. All right, if you're listening to this and I might be wrong on this, let me know. Because I think that was the issue here after they removed Charles took Frogmore away from Harry and his home status was now the US. Because what he was doing was to keep Frogmore as his HQ, his headquarters. But since the father took it away from him, he can no longer use that anymore. So that's when he made the switch to the US. He has been for 5.5 years now. I wonder how long it takes for a royalist to deal with it. He wrote the same thing in his book about how he loves his country. He spent 3 years fighting to get security so he could visit more. He was paying rent for Frogmore Cottage. Instead of dreaming of him coming back, they should be mad at the palace for making it so he doesn't. That's another point. That's an ad. Okay, whatever's here. Harry's place of residence has been the USA since he was evicted. Okay, so there it is here. So I was right. Harry's place of residence has been the USA since he was evicted from his UK home. The UK media will always twist his words to fit the narrative they want. They will never accept Harry is happy with his family in the USA rather than being his brother's scapegoat in the UK. They can never take that away from him. His years of service in the British military, he is a true soldier. Because he is currently living in the US, they read so much into everything. I will never forget this. I don't have the video. One of the presenters, I know who he is, but because I don't have the video, I can't say his name just in case I might be wrong. One of the presenters was saying that, once Trump gets in office, they're gonna send him back. Okay? Meanwhile, what I found out through different tweets is that there's a kind of royal status type of thing for royalties, some kind of a visa for royalties or whatever. But let's just leave that alone. Very eloquent essay. They won't even let the man wax nostalgic. They are crazy, but he does. Uncle Andy's a rapist and pedophile and God knows what else. But let's home in on nuance of a word. All right, let's see what's... Okay, I think the next one start more about Canada. So this is where I'm probably gonna move the other tweet to PYTE. Okay, so my next video will start on PYTE with this. Okay. So please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. Okay, so this is where I will start the next video on PYTE. Okay, so thank you for watching.
Kanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.